Yeah. Perfect. So CRM, as everybody knows, it's customer relationship management. And you can add triggers to your venue setup to follow up on quotes, delete bookings, or remind people to pay their outstanding amounts. So I've got a few samples set up here, which I'm going to use. I'm not going to create more, but if you start your profile, you will start with CRM, and this is only available on the full subscription. CRM, action, create new, and you'll give your profile a name, and then create. So I've got profiles here already set up. And then you'll start your first reminder. Now, reminders will change from venue to venue. You must decide what setup for your venue, what reminders you want to set up. So I've got a few samples here. I'm going to go to my first one. And I said 48 hours before arrival, your final amount is due. So the system can automatically, if they see there's a final amount still due on the invoice, it can automatically send out a reminder to them. This description here will be part of your description in your subject on the email. So they can see 48 hours before arrival, final payment is due. Morning, Celeste. We started already, but you're going to just continue. Right, then there's a few time triggers, and time triggers evaluates the number of hours before or after a specific date and time. So the triggers that you can set up for time is after status is set. So for instance, after a quote was made, that's your status. Or after an invoice was made, that is your status. Morning, Mark. We started already. If you can just put your camera off, I'm recording the session anyway. Good. So after a status is set, so after I made an invoice, or after I completed it, or after I made an inquiry or quote, it looks at the booking status and then it will grab the status from the booking. And it works in hours. So I've set mine. After a status is set, 48 hours, it's already an invoice status. Now this can also differ from venue to venue. Some will go and mark their invoices completed. Some will manage their invoices. If it's not fully paid, they will not mark it completed. So that's what I always suggest to venues. You leave it in invoice status until you receive the full amount. So let's say it's an invoice status. And this is wrong because I did a training session on Friday. So I said now 48 hours after or before arrival, the final payment is due. It's after status is set, 48 hours, or before event start. That's correct. After arrival, after status is set. Before the event start, 48 hours, it's invoice, and I'm looking for the final payment. So if you want to set up this, and you want to say paid less than 100%. So that means they've paid less than 100%, so there's an amount outstanding. That's the value trigger on it. I'll explain the different value triggers as well as we go along. Then you can automatically set it to another status or leave it, or just leave it as none. If you don't want to change it, you can mail yourself, the user in the venue, and you can use any detail that you want to send to yourself. As a reminder, it's not necessary to remind yourself, but if you wish to remind yourself, you can. Then in these blocks, like with Q2B in the venue setup, you can use all the different variable fields. So on page 24 in the venue setup manual, The 25 is all the variable fields that you can use in Q2B. I want to mail the customer. I want to add the invoice. You can add any attachment that was preloaded in your venue setup to this message. And then I'm going to send them this message. So you can type up any message that you want to. You can use variable fields, the start date, end date, the event name, and you can say, please find attached your final invoice. Please note that your final payment is due before arrival. You can also, somebody played around here, but you can also add links in here. So if you don't want to attach the document, you can also put in here, please find our directions here, and you can use the link to also insert the link in here. I want to delete this while we're busy. And then once again, same as your messages, add in all your variable fields for the user or maybe the venue details. Then also if you have the SMS integration, you can type up an SMS and you can also remind people to pay their final amount before arrival with an SMS. And you can add miscellaneous emails in here as well. I'll explain it on my wedding profile what they like to use this for. But if I add miscellaneous with a semicolon and I add more emails, all these people will also receive this email. So when you will typically use it for is for DJs, decor people, to say this booking is now confirmed. Any people that you want to include to say, or accountant, the final amount must be checked if it's paid. And once again, you can also type up a message here and you can also use the variable fields. And you can type your own message up here for it. Mine is all marked inactive because I don't want to get all these reminders. But if you want to start these reminders and you tick it inactive, save, it will automatically go and find the bookings. That's 48 hours before arrival. It's in invoice status and you haven't received 100% payment. And it will start running and send them their final invoices with these messages and also these people that are included in here. I'm going to leave mine inactive. I always suggest to venues as well, when you start setting up your reminders, to set it up, mark it inactive first. You can always pop us an email to info@q2b.co.za and then ask us to just go and review if you set it up properly. Because if you make it active, you cannot stop it. The server will go and it will find those bookings and it will start running. Okay, so I've got another one set up here. I'm going to stay on the deposit first. So your deposit is due. You can type in anything in this description. And like I said in the beginning, I'm just repeating myself again. It's going to be in your subject of your email as well. So after status is set, 72 hours, you can have it in any status, a quote. Mine is your deposit is now due. And you can set up a value trigger here. And I said my deposit is 50% in my venue setup. And if the system cannot find that the 50% is paid, it will automatically send them these emails. You can add the user again, mail the customer, include the quote. You can add any attachment to it. And my message was deleted here. I'm just going to paste it in there again. And then you can say, please note we require a 50% deposit on your quote to confirm your booking. And once again, the SMSs, and you can activate all of these other ones. I make this one inactive. So you can even send the pre-checking link to them. So if you want the customers to pre-check-in, if your check-in app is set up, you can say before the event start, 24 hours, it's an invoice. Or if you work the other way around, completed status, it's fully paid, please send them the check-in app, the pre-check-in app. And then automatically they will receive it and they will be able to check in. Now I want to go to my wedding profile. And that is why we added the, sorry, my mouse is flat and I can't run down for a battery now. So we've typically added that miscellaneous emails. It looks like I'll have to go and find a battery. Just give me a few seconds. There you go. Without breaking a nail, I've put a new battery. Okay. So you can also, typically the wedding venues will say your 40%, or you can even have a fixed amount is now due to confirm your wedding reservation. And it depends on how you work. If you send out a quote, it will be in quote status and it will remind you that the 50% is now due. So you can set it up for any triggers, percentage, fixed amount, etc. So I'm going to just explain the time triggers to you now. So after a status is set, after I made it a quote or invoice, you can trigger it to go out. Before the event start, you can send anything so many hours before the event start. Even after a payment, let's say you've uploaded payment, you can after a payment send a CRM out that says your booking is now confirmed. Thank you for your payment, etc., etc. Okay, and there's all the statuses like you would find in a booking as well. Then the value triggers. So the first one is paid less than a percentage of total. So if they paid less than a certain percentage that you require at that point in time. So after status is set, 72 hours, which is mine now, set up invoice, and I haven't received 30%. What, and you can also say, what must the action then do? Delete the booking or put it in quote status again. You can change the status of the booking as well. Okay, so the value triggers paid less than a percentage of the total, paid less than a fixed value. So if I say I require 5,000 Rand, and I will change my message here then, to say a fixed amount of 5,000 Rand is now due to confirm your wedding. So it can be a percentage or a fixed value. A deposit paid. So if a deposit is paid, you can also or 50%. My venue is set up at the 50%. If they've paid a deposit, you can now automatically, the system will send them a message that says, thank you for your deposit, your booking is confirmed. So this is what the value triggers will do for you. If they've fully paid, you can also send them a message and trigger for fully paid. To say your booking is now fully paid, we're looking forward to serve you. So all of these triggers, which I will send, or I will add to the email that's going out with this link, I will send all the explanations on the triggers as well. But a lot of users, when they get here, they get confused. So I'll send a document with. So if you train a customer as well, or you set up your CRM, just read what it explains. And it's, for me, it's easy because I understand what it does. But a lot of venues get nervous when they get here. And you're welcome to ask any questions. Okay, so variable fields can be used, any attachments can be used, and you can set up your message how you want it, and you can add bulk SMSs. Right, then I'm going to go to revenue groups. So this is a very important step in the CRM setup. So now you've added all your CRM profiles. You've added all your triggers for each profile, and it works with a revenue group. So I can now say for my corporate accommodation, use this CRM profile and use this feedback questions. For my weddings, it's a fixed 10,000 Rand. Deposits as required on this revenue group. Use this CRM, use that feedback questions. So after you've set up all your CRM profile, you'll have to, before it will start, come and say, for this revenue group, you will use this CRM profile and those questions, and save. If you haven't done this, the system will also not send out your CRM, because if everybody knows that's in this meeting, this is on a booking, your revenue group is selected here, and then your CRM will be linked to that revenue group. And all you do with a revenue group, you say, use this CRM profile and use that feedback and save. Then the CRM reminders. So you can do it per group. Once again, revenue group. I want to see all my weddings. My CRM profile is weddings. And I can pull it on one user, or I can do it for all my users. And I can say only the open ones. The open ones is the one currently in the system, all the CRM, and there is my report on all my weddings. So now I can see Sarah and John's booking. Please finalize function sheet. Their function sheet is still outstanding. The CRM see that. I can say full and final payment. I can create notes in here. So I can say on this day, sorry, let's get take off the Monday here. I can make notes in here. I can paste a full email in here from the customer as well. Any notes, anything. If I want the system to stop and not send out reminders anymore, I can just do that little tick. The minute the system pick up that tick, it means it's completed. Stop reminding the customer. Okay, yeah, I've made an arrangement with them maybe. They're going to pay the full amount on arrival. I can then stop the CRM and not let it go out for the client anymore. Any notes, you can paste the full Bible in here. You can also access the bookings from the reservation link in here. There's the title of the booking, the coordinator, the customer name, and the status of the booking. Mine is unfortunately all in deleted status, and there's also the customer's email. Right, so there, and then I can go action, I can export it to Excel, or I can print the report. So there I've got a full Excel report on all my weddings currently open in the system. And there's all my weddings captured in the CRM with notes and all the details. I can also print the report. And once again, there's all my notes here at the end. Yeah, then under user, so I can say in my venue, Sunny is now responsible for this. Henriette's responsible for this. That stays with Niku, and Sunny Botha is going to be responsible for that booking. If they come in here and they user log in, and I say weddings, and Susani or Sunny just wants to pull her own report, what she's responsible for, all completed or open, generate the report, and there's all Sunny's ones under her name. So each user that you give a login will be able to pull their own report from here. Okay, then another thing that I just want to mention. So in a booking, you can also say no reminders, and that also will send out no reminders from the CRM to this customer. And that you will use typically if you made an arrangement with the customer, or it's maybe a rep staying with you once a week. You don't want the reminders or payment reminders to go out to them. You will tick this, and it will close up the CRM, and it won't send the CRM to this customer. You can also, under action, create CRM notes on this booking. And there's already one note, and you can create another note. And it will take the reservation name, weddings, and I can say, then I can maybe throw it to my accountant, maybe put a full note in there, market completed, create. And it will, in your reminders, if you pull the completed one, let's do it for all. And I say, show me all my completed ones. It will give you a report on all your completed CRM. Any questions?
Henry, just a question. When these notes, do they make themselves when you set up the reminders? Is that where it pulls through that as soon as
Yes.
it's okay, so you can do a manual one, and it also will create it if it's part of your CRM profile where you set it up as a reminder.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can also in a reminder, you only want to remind yourself, not the customer. So you just want to remind yourself to follow up on the menu. You can only send it to yourself and not to the customer. And then you just untick it for the customer. So you can only set it up for a user as well.
Nice.
So only if you want to remind yourself, I must follow up on that menu, you will only trigger yourself. So venues also use it internally.
So you
Mm.
can set up a standard reminder every time you have somebody that's not paid, even though they got a reminder, then you have to phone them.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Mark, you must just unmute yourself.
Hi, Henriette.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah,
You've
so
got a
I wanted
question?
to ask
Hmm?
about the SMS integration. How does it work? Yes, I wanted to ask about the SMS integration. How does it work?
Okay. It's under the venue setup. We integrated with all telecoms. Okay. And you have to have account with all telecoms. They buy credits. All telecoms will use the venue number and set it up on their side on the account. The customer buys SMS credits. We link it to all telecoms. They buy SMS credits. They will give us a username and a password to enter here. And you can also add a cell phone number and email as well. So if you do get a reply on a SMS, it can email you the reply from the customer. So a lot of customers will get the SMS, but then they reply to the SMS. So you can set up a cell phone number and an email that it can send a reply to. And then if you click
And
on this, Mhm. So
yes,
you buy
on,
credits from all
uh-huh,
telecom. They push the
mhm.
credits towards your Q2B number, your venue number, and you can also check your credits in here if you do have credits available. Then you can also
All
say one credit per message. If you type long SMSs, you have to say 2 credits per message. Allow international numbers because the fee changes from 21 cents, I think, to 22 or 23 cents. All telecoms will be able to answer all those questions for you. And you can also set up Q2B to say, remind me or give me a warning if my credits are lower than 40 or reaching 40. So I can go and buy more credits from all telecoms.
right. So is that part of the package, the all-in-one package, or a client has to pay more for that integration?
Yeah, so don't pay for the integration. They pay for their own SMS credits. So you will go to all telecoms. You will maybe buy 1,000 credits. So 21 cents times 1,000. So 210 rand, and you can send 1,000 SMSs.
Okay, so no extra charge on the subscription, monthly subscription amount for the
Nothing,
client.
nothing.
Oh, okay, that's perfect then.
Yeah.
Also on the mass mailer part, it works with the client database that has been created on the client account. That's the customers list.
Okay, I want to keep this, you going to mass mailer here. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to discuss it in the CRM. I'm recording this session just for CRM. We can stay on
Okay.
when we end the session, and then I will answer those questions for you.
Henriette, can I ask a
All right, not a
question,
problem.
please?
Yes, you're welcome.
What is busy? If you can you maybe explain within the CRM how would the SMS system be used for the guests, not the customers? How would you set that up?
The guests will only work if you use the RSVP link.
Correct, but how would you
Look,
set it up in the CRM?
if they RSVP, um, oh, for the guests that RSVP'd. Is that what you mean? What do you want to send to the
That's
guests?
so. Say before the wedding, I want to send them something via CRM. Or before, like a tour group, I want to send it to the guests, not
No,
only to the
no, you can
organizer.
only do it under groups. group setup.
Okay, so it's not going to go, you don't set it up in the CRM. Okay,
No,
that's fine. Thank you.
it only
Thank you.
sees the customer, not the guests. Any more questions? Oh, it doesn't look like it, so I'm going to stop the recording. Mark, you can stay on and I'll